Go ahead, Councillor.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Mr. Clerk, has the roll been taken?
Through the chair, roll call's been taken.
Okay, are there members of the public, are there any declarations of pecuniary interest on any of the items on today's agenda? No, seeing none. There are 9 items for consideration and consent on our agenda. Are there any items members would like to separate for discussion? Councillor Carpenter?
4.6.
Are there any further? I would like to separate 4.5. Any further separations for discussion? Seeing none, can I please get a mover and a seconder to put those separated for discussion purpose? Not separated. Councillor Carpenter and Councillor Samuel. Any discussion? No? Okay, call the question. All in favor? I can see 3. Okay, so that's enough. Carried. So we'll move to the items separated for discussion. Could I get someone to put them on the floor, please? Moved by Councillor Carpenter, seconded by Councillor Martin. And the first item up is by the agenda is 4.5. That's the one I separated. To the I'm not sure, Rob, I don't know whether Rob Smith is in the room or not, or I guess Mr. Ferguson is. That's a neighborhood. It's the Terrace Hill neighborhood, the Terrace Hill area that we're making modifications in, but it was a Ward 3 public meeting, and Ward 2 wasn't included, but some of the affected streets are in Ward 2, and those folks had nothing, no input at all on it. The folks on Terrace Hill were not part of the notification area. And there's a couple of streets that are totally in Ward 2, Wells Ave being one, which is on the agenda to have speed bumps put on. But to my knowledge, nobody on that street was consulted, at least not that I'm aware of as their ward councillor, because we weren't at the meeting. So could somebody enlighten me a little on that? Because I've gotten calls. I guess it's out what's being done, and folks are concerned that they had nothing, no input on it.
Yeah, through the chair, Dave Ferguson, manager of traffic services. So staff, you are correct. It did not include the Terrace Hill. That was the cutoff point. But anything within there, so Wells, the residents would have received a notice of the meetings, as well as a survey that we first initiated some time ago. So they should have had that opportunity to comment and provide information.
Right. No, I get that part. I guess my concern is, and the concerns I'm getting on the phone are that it's the Terrace Hill area, but Terrace Hill was not included in the discussion, and which doesn't make sense. I realize you have to cut it off somewhere, but Terrace Hill would have been the last street that would have been cut off, which again, logically doesn't make a lot of sense, at least in my mind. So I'm very reluctant to approve this to go to budget when the folks that are being affected in my ward haven't had the opportunity to comment. So I don't know how we rectify that. I'm not sure. I'll look to you, Mr. Ferguson, for some suggestions.
Through the chair, something we could do, we could provide an update to those residents of Terrace Hill and provide them with a copy of the plan to be able to see what is being proposed.
Okay, if we could do that, Dave, and have that circulated and allow them time to respond back, would that still allow you to do your budgetary things that you have to do in order to get this into the capital?
Through the chair, I believe so. I don't believe it would be, be an issue.
Do you need direction formally to do that, or can you take that upon yourself, Dave?
Through the chair, I have no problem doing that ourselves, unless there's a requirement that clerks feels something that be needed.
Okay, so having said that, then we'll hold in abeyance 4.5 until that process has played itself out, and it'll be taken out of the vote for today. Correct? I'll look to the clerk for clarification.
Through the chair, I would probably recommend just to defer it if you don't want it to be approved tonight. We do have the recommendation on the floor.
Okay, if I could get thanks, Councilor Carpenter. Moved by Councilor Carpenter to defer, seconded by Councilor Martin. Time and place,
One cycle.
one cycle. Okay, I'll look to staff. Is one cycle going to allow you to do what needs to be done, Dave?
Through the chair, yes.
Okay. Okay, having said that, I'll call the question on the deferral. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Okay, that brings us to 4.6. That was you, Councilor Carpenter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You do an excellent job. Considering
Well,
doing
we're working at
it. David, could you give us an update on what we're going to do on Powerline Road? I know the recommendations don't look like we're doing a lot right away here. So could you know some warning signs, some traffic calming measures? Are we putting a PXO across to Pates Farm, or ability to cross the street from Brantwood Park Road on Powerline Road to Pates? I don't see that in there.
Through the chair, I'm going to let Rob Smith provide you with a brief update on what's being proposed.
Oh, I didn't see him on here. Okay, Rob.
Through the chair, Rob Smith, Supervisor of Transportation Services. Yeah, we're looking at doing some traffic calming measures initially, doing some pavement markings and making some modifications with pavement markings and bollards at the intersections of Brantwood Park Road and Colbeck to make the turning radiuses smaller and encourage some slower speeds. Right now, a pedestrian crossover isn't recommended because the 85th percentile speed is so high on Powerline Road. So we want to initiate some traffic calming measures first to get that 85th percentile speed lowered, and then we'll look at pedestrian crossing options. But we have to bear in mind too that we're about to engage in environmental assessment for Powerline Road improvements, and we're kind of in limbo right now with the timing of certain improvements, and we kind of want to see what the environmental assessment recommends before we start making some significant improvements with the intersections also.
Okay, Rob, that's good information. Then should we add to this then a recommendation that it come back within 1 month of implementation of these changes? By that time, we'll have the more information.
Through the chair, the traffic calming improvements will take longer than a month. So the report was recommending doing some warning signs, the pavement markings and the bollards this year. And then we would look at doing the larger improvements in 2024, subject to council approval of the capital budget.
Yeah, I was thinking that we review it in 1 year.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that sounds reasonable.
Okay, I just wanted to put something in. So I'd like to add that as an amendment that seeking a seconder that we review this in 1 year after implementing the recommendations.
Is there a seconder for that amendment? I can't see the folks in the room, so I don't know if anybody's.
If Councillor Samwell has her hand up, Councillor Sluss.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
So the amendment is that the Powerline Road would be reviewed in 1 year.
1 year after implementation of the recommendations.
Gotcha. Okay.
May take a while to get those done. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Any discussion on the amendment? We'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? It's carried. Any discussion on the motion as amended? Seeing none, we'll call the question on that. All in favor? As amended. Any opposed? It's carried. That concludes that portion. There are no resolutions. There are no notices of motion. We've come to adjournment. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Well done. Worth a visit.